Yo, what is going on today, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to be talking about the new 2017 or 2018, I guess, Toyota Supra and how it will be the biggest fail 2018. I know some of you guys are going to get butthurt because you really like the Supra, but just listen to this video and listen to my reasoning on why this car will fail. So, a couple weeks ago, there's a leaked document stating some of the specs of the new Toyota Supra, and they said that it will be coming with the BMW 30i 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 248 horsepower. Not too good, less than a WRX, but I'm guessing this is pretty base and pretty cheap model. But they also have the high output 40i 335 horsepower turbo inline 6. I'm guessing that's going to be the one that most people get, but it's not the powertrain that really is going to make this car fail. You know, those are pretty okay numbers, I guess. They also leaked that this car might not have a manual. I don't really believe that, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a manual. And even if there's not, I believe in this market, that really doesn't matter. But here's why the Toyota Supra will fail. But first, before we talk about let it fail, let's talk about, the old Supra that I'm driving right now in this Forza Horizon 4 game. What made the old Supra so good is that it was affordable. It was kind of more expensive, but it was still relatively affordable. It was reliable because it was a Toyota, and the 2JZ engine even today is really reliable. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, is it's easily modified. They had, if you go, I'll link this video, and this good video, or watch this video, is Rob Ferretti's explanation of Toyota Supras and stuff like that. But, it was so easy to get, not easy, but it was, you could get 800, 900 horsepower out of a Toyota Supra, and no one, not even the big V8s, were hardly getting that. 8 to 900 horsepower back in 93 to 98 was freaking insane. But that's what made the Toyota Supra so, just popular back in the day, and they're still so popular for these exact same reasons. But how do I know that this car is going to fail? Because there's already been a Toyota Supra released that has failed, and it's called the Acura NSX. Now, if you look, the Acura NSX and the Toyota Supra have a lot of common similarities that I'll explain right now. So the Acura NSX back in the first generation was pretty affordable for what it was. It was pretty reliable. It was supposed to be the people's quote-unquote super car, kind of cheap, affordable, and they were fairly easily moddable. So the same exact qualities that made the Toyota Supra good also made the Acura NSX good back in the 90s. Now, if you look, Acura released the new NSX, and it was more like a fail because it was nothing like the previous NSX. It didn't even, I guess it kind of had the same body shape, but other than that, if you didn't have badges on the car, you would never know that they came from the same company. And the Acura NSX, it's affordable, but it's not as good as it could be in affordability. I don't know, you could buy, there's better stuff for the buy that's more reliable and more power and stuff like that. And the reason, and it's not reliable, and the reason I say it's not reliable is because, well, it's a hybrid engine. It uses a gasoline engine, I believe the 3.5 liter V6, which I'm sure that motor will be just fine. But it also uses a hybrid motor, and that's just so much stuff that could go wrong, that eventually will go wrong. It's just, you can't make a good, reliable hybrid system that lasts forever just because it's so complicated, and there's just so much stuff going on that it's just not going to be reliable. And it's not really that easily modified. I mean, you can modify the gasoline engine, I guess, but how do you modify a damn electric engine? And that's so complicated that the only place you could probably get anything modified would be the dealership, because it's so complicated and stuff. So it's not easily modified. For all those reasons, that's why the new Acura NSX is failing right now. I believe that it might sell even better if it didn't have the NSX name. If I had like a something else, another letter than N for NSX, like just because it left a bad taste in people's mouth. Now back to the new Toyota Supra. The Toyota Supra is a BMW product, which means that it's probably not going to be cheap. Like BMW is not a cheap company to go through, or a cheap car manufacturer. So the fact that they're putting a BMW engine, and probably that tells me that most of the car is going to be a BMW, which means it's probably going to be more expensive than it really should. Now I'm sure the BMW convertible, whatever, Z4 I think they call it, will be more expensive than Toyota Supra, just because that's what happens with the BRZ and the FRS, is that the Subaru, because of its name, is priced more. I still think that they're going to mess it up with BMW pricing. They're going to overprice it. They're going to charge, I would have to say, for this to be a good car, it would have to be around the $30,000 range. Because if you're thinking about it, you can get a GT86 for like 13 grand used. I can't remember what the sticker price of a new one is, but I know it can't be that much. I think it's a little bit, $25,000 what I want to say. But anyways, you can't price this close to that because, or you can't price it so far up of that, because then you could just buy a GT86 and then modify it for like a couple grand and have something that's better than a Supra, that's more reliable and everything else. Now BMW engines are pretty reliable, you know, they haven't really had any problems, but BMW's electronic system and everything else except the engine and most of the transmissions are not reliable in BMWs. They only last about 10 years. My brother has a 328i. He had like a terminal on his battery go bad, and something that usually would cost like $13 cost him like $250 because, you know, freaking BMW logic. But anyway, since it's the BMW, repairs won't be cheap. Anything, like, nothing will be cheap with that. Now, as for the ability to be easily modified, I'm sure these won't be too bad as to modify, since they are already turbos. You can buy a tune for them. They'll be really cheap power, but I mean, there's one good in like a stack of like 6 bads. Now, also being a BMW, it's probably going to be overcomplicated, and I don't know. I really hope for the new Toyota Supra, but I don't think it's ever going to even get halfway or even a quarter of the way as nice as the old one. But anyway, guys, what do I know? I'm just a guy sitting in front of a microphone right now blabbing on. So put your ideas in the comments below. I'm really hoping for the Toyota Supra, but you know, it's a BMW product, so I mean, who cares? Like you all know it's gonna fail. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one.